There's Ellie, and I'm Zip, and we're back here at Garbage Gut, actually the access road, now called Couch Beach. Up this way here is a cemetery, and right here on the access road, you can see how the water actually came down the road. We have 3 inches of rain recently, but most of it went out my water bar here and out into the woods, and didn't continue running down the road. The 2 others uphill that were cross road and the flat just didn't do it. They both got clogged up. There was so much rain. The water ran all the way down, almost from the top to here before it exited. Here we are back at the same water bar that I was just videotaping, and I dug crossroad ditch into this ditch I made a couple years ago. Well, quite a long time ago, probably 10 years ago. It's been very effective. One of the 3 really close in this area, and there's 2 more right up there. We're gonna go up there right. Here we are, looking back towards the beach again, and we're here at the little last rise before the steep spot. And right here is one of the first real projects I made to try to get the water off the road. I don't know if you can really see, I guess from that perspective, you can see how much of the duff I've piled up over the years. And it's been really hard to keep clean. So I made a primary here, uphill of that one. And this one actually got all the water. It didn't actually get clogged. It doesn't look like much of the water made it to that one. So I'm gonna give this one a little quick banking up with a pickaxe. I'll come back with a shovel next time and get all that muck out of the drain. Just keep piling it up. All right. Here we are back at this primary for this flat area. We dug the channel across the road. Did a really good job. We need to come back with a shovel to get that. This drain here really, at this point, needs a serious shoveling. I need a backhoe. Looking back downhill towards the beach. Pan uphill. We're right here at this water bar. And this water bar here actually told the line after in a 3-inch rain. A lot of silt in there, a lot of muck. That all needs a shovel again. You can kind of see the piles that I put up on either side of this one over the years of that same muck. There's a lot of gravel in the channel here. This is not really a big channel. All the water's on this side of the road. The camber's over this side here. So I'm gonna spend a minute cleaning this one out and move down to the last 2. So here we are back at this last water bar before we get really the steep spot. This one actually got all that water coming downhill out into it. I think I got the gravel a little bit. Not much I can do with this one. I'm gonna head down on the next one, which is just right down there. Looking back towards the beach again, there's Ellie. All right, pan back up the hill. And right here is the biggest gorge, or the biggest erosion spot that was happening when I started this project. And as you can see, the water did not make it down into this ditch. It's all kinds of duff and years of leaves breaking down. Maybe someday the town put some gravel in it. We'll be done with it forever, but for now, this is the water bar above that, and that definitely held the line. That does a good job. And if I didn't have those ones above it, that would have clogged right up. But because there wasn't so much of the duff coming downhill, because you can kind of see, there's a water bar right there, and the top of that little hill right there is that other 2 right in a row. Looking back uphill, looking at that where the erosion was, And that was washing all this gravel down here and down into these vernal pools and kind of wetlands right along the marsh here. And that water was running all the way from the top down to here. As you can kind of see how it's so flat because of all that gravel coming down over the years. And the valley, now we're coming to the dam that was built at some point between the marsh and what now I call the vernal pool. Looking back uphill again, we're down at where the vernal pool overflow comes across a weir or a dam that was made. And for a long time, there was a lot more water in this vernal pool. And I was gonna build a bridge over that way through the woods and around this whole wet area because it was always wet for so often. And then one day I was coming down here with a saw, and I was up the hill a little bit, and I'm walking down here with some tools, and this man passes me, and that man says, "The hoe is mightier than the saw." And I said, "Oh my gosh, he's crazy. The hoe is mightier than the saw." So I came back down here, and I walked down here, and he cleared this whole channel, which is kind of interesting. But it was really all muck and all kind of crapped up with stuff, but he cleared it all out and cleared all the mud off to the sides, and the water level went down. It's kind of amazing. You didn't need a bridge anymore. And in that time, I was trimming all the briars all through here, all the green briar. I think got rid of a lot of it, but it was all throughout these trees anyways. It made it really hard to walk through here. But I think this guy, what he did, he really dropped the level of the vernal pool, but that wasn't me. The Sally dog's been waiting for that. Back down here at the river, North River, ocean's that way, and then Blue Brown is that way. And an overcast day, really nice out. Some people camping over there. I love walking through this grove. This grove is so beautiful. As we kind of walk up, get out of the wind here, I bet that was loud. And look back at the campsite and how clear this was. Now, as a kid, I remember, I think it might have been right there somewhere, but they had set up a stage and had a band playing. I had it right here between some of these trees, and had a light bar, and they had a lobster boat in the river with a generator on it, and they just had a rock concert out here. They were really cool. I've only seen that once in my day. Oh, I'd love to try to pull that off someday. Unpermitted music festival. One day only. I'd love to pull that off here. Now kind of, like I said last time, I was all the way down, downriver, Couch Point, I guess I call it. I don't know. But that's definitely looking north towards the ocean, which sounds kind of weird, but it is. And that's looking south, and that's inland. Right. We're gonna kind of walk back up the road and take a look at the water situation. I forgot to tell this story, but at one time I actually got a bridge from here to there and some other stuff that was really fix it. You couldn't move, it was really heavy. So it stayed here for quite a while. And this place became very popular. And as it got more and more popular, all these old people kept showing up. And they bringing the little tiny foo-foo dogs down here on their leash, and they're getting all mad at me. Your dog needs to be on a leash, Laura Marshfield. And just the interesting thing is, they couldn't walk here if I didn't come down and clear back the briars and whatnot on the road. They wouldn't be walking on it very easy. And they got the town to put up a sign that says Marshall has a leash, Laura, at the post. And then the next day, somebody got all mad at me about her being off, my dog being off a leash. And I came back a couple days later with a chainsaw and a crowbar and dismantled the bridge. I said, that gray hair wants to get out of the river and walk his dog. He's gonna need to get his feet wet. I'm not sure if he got his feet wet or not, but there's not a good bridge there anymore. So access is limited to when the tide's not in, or it hasn't been raining a lot. All right. Walking uphill here. I'm coming back up to where the big erosion in the road was. You can kind of see there's definitely some water coming down here, but that's kind of from what's collecting in the road at this height. And there's no way for me without a backhoe to put another water bow in here. I mean, this one up here took me almost all day to dig through that hill and get down far enough that the water flowed. I mean, digging through the roots with an axe and a shovel, pickaxe. I was tired. Kind of going uphill. I see the water channel, but it wasn't running hard. All the stuff is still here. You can kind of see how some of it crossed the channel here, across the road, because that was so clogged. But you can see the water channel as we're going up. And you can see where it gained some steam and took most all the stuff with it. But as we kind of get closer back up here towards the next set of water bars, you're going to see less and less of this channel digging into the duff that's here from years. The water bar is protecting it. And that slowed down the water quite a bit. And again, no water made it by this hump that I put this hump in here a really long time ago. I dug that trench out and made this little hump in the road, which used to be a puddle, into a hump. That was another whole day or more's work. Here we are back at the new primary in this area. And that brings us right inside of the, really the first one for a long way. And this one, mostly maintained. I took a shot of it before I worked on it. Matter of fact, that's where I opened up the video. Right here at this one here. That's the first one I dug out, or I did the intro. And that brings us up to this really flat spot. And at one time, this was a pasture to the left here, and the pasture to the right. Matter of fact, when I was a kid, there were still fence posts with barbed wire on it. And this pasture actually had a small pond in it. But if you go back, you can probably find the berm. You can kind of see this little stream that went across here. And you can see right here was a, again, this was weird because this had water in it, but had barbed wire around it to keep the cows out from mucking up the drain they put in across the road, whenever that was. I don't know. But this area is really flat. And I put a drain in there, trying to keep this puddle down. That really needs a shovel. I didn't get it last time, I missed it. Now here's one. Wow, I missed this one going up. This one here's got a bunch of duff in it. Right here, I'm gonna give this a quick scrape before we head on up. That could really use a shovel. Pickaxe, not a shovel. Just like a shovel, not a pickaxe. Heading back uphill. Now this one here was a cross drain that was not working effectively. You can kind of see how there's a lot of water came down through it. But the trench was really affected. The trench was really full. And the last time I was here, the cross road trench was just totally full of sand and gravel. And, I mean, it's been years since I've actually been down here with a pick. 4 or 5 years, a long time. So, I'm gonna go back uphill. Walking uphill, getting almost to the top. I think it's about 125 vertical, something like that. From the parking lot to the road, to the river. That's sea level, right down to the beach there. When I camp out in the island, and I do this a couple times a day, here's another puddle that I put a drain in. Again, that needs a shovel. Going uphill here. One small one here. And again, you can kind of see in the ground how the water kind of went around it. I dug that one out a little bit. And that gets up almost to the top of the hill. All right. Something back at the top of the hill here. These puddles will show you how flat this is. And somewhere off to the left, I could probably call it surface drain from the trees, hard packed ground. For days after a storm, you can see water flowing across these puddles and down these road ditches. Now these tire ditches, where this is really flat, were built over time, and it really caused me to start doing this project because the more people rode in these ditches, the more they eroded it because they were full of water. And you had to walk down the center of the road, but the water came all the way back here. You can kind of see there's a hill here. There's a drain that I dug, one of them there, and another one there. But the water came all the way back up over this hill and then drained out of this puddle. So this whole area was always full of water. You had to walk around the side to get around it, and then jump through here and jump up on the center to walk through, because there was no. And here you can see this drain took a lot of water right there over the storm. And this one here too, they're right next to each other. One, there's just too much material that's strained out it that you can really, it just clogs up too fast. Again, those both need a shovel. And I was here a week ago, well, 5 days ago with a shovel. You'd never know it. Again, this is that big puddle. And I put a drain there in that puddle. And again, here another big puddle again. And here's that drain. I gave them both a couple shovel outs when I was here last time. I always wanted to do this puddle. Just, it's funny, it wasn't that big, but because I didn't do anything about it, it keeps getting bigger. I think maybe I'll do something about it someday. But that gets us back up to the top of the road here. Coming back out the parking lot. And this little gate. There's my lock right there. Just sitting there doing nothing. And a whole nother story to go with that. That gets us back to the truck. back to the graveyard. We got other stuff to get done today. So, for Zip and Ellie, we're done.